All right, so we're going to use the rules for rational exponents. Again, if we have a number or a variable, in this case a, raised to a fractional exponent with 1 in the numerator and n in the denominator is the root, the numerator is the exponent. It gives us the radical, the nth root of a raised to the power of 1. So our job here is to simplify each expression. Each answer should be in radical form. Okay, we have 6 examples that we're going to cover. So, to simplify these expressions, again, we need to remember that our rational exponent has an actual exponent and a root. So this is going to become, since 2 is the root, that's going to become the square root of x raised to the first power. Can I take the square root of something raised to the first power? So do I need to have the 1 on the x? Let's start there. Do I need to have the 1 on the x? No. So can I take the square root of x? Can I multiply something by itself and get x? Nope. So I cannot take the square root of x. Therefore, this is as simple as that radical expression can get. So that is my answer, the square root of x. In example 2, I have 8 raised to the power of 1/3. Remember, 3 is going to be your root. And your exponent is going to be 1. This means I'm going to have the cube root of 8. And 8 is raised to the first power. We don't necessarily need that first power, so you can just leave it as the cube root of 8. If you're not sure what the cube root of 8 is, it's actually 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the cube root of 8 is going to be equal to 2. Okay. A couple more examples here. Sorry, one more time. So I have example 3, I have the 5th root of, I have 5x raised to the power of 1/3. Again, the denominator is a 3, so this is our root. This becomes the 3rd root of whatever's inside those parentheses, which in this case is 5x. And again, 5x would be raised to the power of 1. But I don't need the exponent of 1, I'm just showing you that it's there. So this is the cube root of 5x. When you're here, you would ask yourself, can I take the cube root of 5? The answer would be no. You can't multiply one number by itself 3 times and get 5, that doesn't work. You also cannot take the cube root of x. So this is as simple as this radical expression. Example 4 is slightly different. I have 6 times 4x squared raised to the 1/2 power. What is this exponent affecting? What does that exponent affect? Does it affect the 6? No, it only affects what's inside the parentheses, which is 4x squared. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6 times the square root of 4x squared. Now, this is where you ask yourself, can I take the square root of 4? Yes. Can I take the square root of x squared? Yes. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do that. I can take the square root of both of these pieces, and when I do that, I'm gonna bring them outside of that radical. So this is gonna become 6 times the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of x squared is x, and that's what I have. And then 6 times 2x is gonna be 12x. Any questions on that? Example 5, again, looks slightly different. I have 9y squared to the 1/2 power times x to the third. When we're worrying about where to start, always start with your parentheses. The parentheses are being affected by this 1/2 power, right? The 1/2 power is affecting the parentheses. It does not affect x cubed. So I'm going to take the second root, or the square root of 9y squared, since that's what's inside the parentheses. Then I'm going to multiply this by x cubed. So can someone tell me what should be written right underneath this line? So we're taking the square root of 9 and the square root of y squared. So what should I write below? Anybody know what the square root of 9 is? It is 3. Yes. And then what's the square root of y squared? Is that 2? Not 2, y squared. The square root of that. The square root of y squared. It's just y. This cancels out with the exponent. You keep that middle piece, so this is 3y. And then we still have x cubed. I cannot multiply 3y or x cubed, so all I'm going to do is write them together. Example 6 looks a little more involved, but we want to start with the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, I have 16x to the 4th, and that's being affected by this exponent. So what am I going to do with what's highlighted in green? What should I write? Somebody, what is your name?
16 to
16.
X.
Okay. So, okay. The square root.
2.
The 2 is there. So the 2 doesn't mean the square root of 2, it just means that is a square root. Okay? So this means a square root because the 2 is in the denominator. Okay? So you don't have to call it the square root of 2, it's just the square root. Okay?
Where
Okay. Oh, so we're taking the square root, okay? Okay, so we can take the square root of 16. That's 4. Okay? So x times x is x squared. So that doesn't give me x to the 4th. If I'm taking the square root of x to the 4th, I need something that you can multiply to get there. 2, right? So this is going to be the square root of x to the 4th is gonna be x squared. Because x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. Everything else is gonna get dropped down. If you notice, we do have another exponent that is a fraction. I have this exponent of 1/2, and it's affecting p. Does it affect the 2 or the x squared beside it? Nope. It only affects the p because there's no set of parentheses, so it only affects when it's directly touching. So I need to put this in the square root as well. This would be the square root of p. And then I need to bring down 2 and x squared, and then this 3 that's out the front. So now I have everything down on that line. All I'm going to do is combine like terms. I'm going to multiply 3 and 2. I have an x squared and another x squared here. I also have a 4 that I can multiply by 3 and 2. So here we go. 3 times 4 times 2, 3 times 4 is 12, times 2 is 24. X squared times x squared is x to the 2 plus 2 power. And then I still have that square root of p. This will be 24 x to the power of 4 and the square root of p. Do we have any questions or concerns, guys? So when you have a fractional exponent, remember, like if we had x to the 1/3, this becomes the third root of x. Okay? That's how it gets switched. Then you just have to ask yourself, can I take the third root of x? No. Okay, box it up. All right, so do you have any questions, guys? Okay. You can get started on your homework for today. If you guys do have questions, you go through it. If you get stuck, just let me know and I'll put the problem on the screen. We can talk through it.